Ladies and gentlemen, Xbox certainly needed some wins, and luckily for them and us, the Xbox Showcase this year was quite a banger. So let's jump straight into the most exciting stuff we got to look forward to. Starting off with number 10, we got South of Midnight, which we actually seen prior to the Xbox Showcase, and it looked very interesting. This time around, we got some gameplay though, and it immediately struck me with this God of War vibe. With the aesthetics they're going with, to the different vibrant gameplay elements that they're showing us, it really seems to have that look and feel, but a bit more fast pace. This action game looks to have a very clear focus on adventure and exploration as you navigate throughout this very pretty world. This is bringing us an extremely unique art style that I wasn't sure how I felt about the first time around, but I find myself now appreciating it a bit more. The combat's looking flashy, you have some interesting traversal powers, you got some grappling hook stuff going on, you got some Uncharted stuff, the dodge rolls and boss mechanics look nice and tight. Probably not going to be Souls-like window perfect, but it doesn't need to be, because there's a lot going on here in this game. I feel like it's truly going to be one of those diamonds in the rough, and I'm really looking forward to it. There's no release date for this one as of yet, but it's going to be coming to us next year though, but keep it on your radar as we move into number 9. We got what everybody didn't even know they wanted to hear until they heard it. Gears of War, the game that was supposed to kick off this big multimedia franchise with Gears of War 5 dropping all the way back in 2019. People had to be wondering what the hell is going on with Gears. But it's back, baby. And the trailer is freaking hyped. It's a prequel. It's going to be taking place 14 years before the original Gears of War. It's called E-Day, and it tells us a story about the first Locust emerging on Sarah. And honestly, this is probably the best move that they could have made, making it this way. It looks cool, it's not going to mess with the storyline that they already created, it's only going to enhance it by making a stronger past that we as the player would have already lived through. This is basically everything you could have wanted from a Gears of War trailer other than gameplay. We still don't have none of that, which is a bit of a bummer. It was just an announcement and we have absolutely nothing to go off of in terms of when or how this is going to come out. Obviously, it's going to be on Game Pass. It's one of the big Xbox franchises, and we'll just have to wait and see how it goes from there. Number 8. So we actually got some new information on a new Fable game, and there hasn't been a new Fable since 2010. And this game is going to be focusing on a guy who's retired. His name is Humphrey. What a retiree type of name, huh? Humphrey? He's going to be getting forced out of retirement though, because the game's just not going to be all about some guy moping around, sitting in his house telling us stories about the good old days, because that would just be boring. But we did receive a bit of gameplay. It's not all that much to go off of and to make judgment on, but it clearly looks like a Fable game. There's definitely going to be some choice that somehow affects the overall story, which is good, but that's about it. We still don't have a hell of a lot to go off of. The characters within the in-game cutscenes look beautiful, the world is vibrant, we got to see some interesting enemies and some magical abilities, and it does have a release window of 2025 now, and I'll be sharing more information as we get it, so stay tuned. Coming up at number 7, we got some new gameplay for Indiana Jones: The Great Circle. I have to mention this because this game is looking more and more like a real-life Indiana Jones movie. I mean, it looks absolutely fantastic, and Troy Baker is doing an excellent job as Indy. He never makes you think twice about it. You just want to feel like you're watching a movie, and that's exactly what you want when you come to a game like this. The gameplay looks really good, from the lighting and internal spaces, moving into lush forest scenes and brutal winters, and of course it wouldn't be an Indiana Jones game without the Tomb Raider style puzzles that'll be awaiting us. I don't know why in-game puzzles always remind me of Tomb Raider, but there's a lot to go off here. And we're getting a first-person whip. That should open up some traversal options and other ways for them to challenge us through these puzzles and maybe even the map layout. This is going to be coming to us this year, so keep a lookout for more news on that as soon as I have it. At number 6, we got the brand new State of Decay trailer. State of Decay 3 is on its way, which is great, and it's a franchise that seems to be swept under the rug a bit more than I think it really deserves. But knowing that we're getting another one, I'm happy about it. The trailer was the bee's knees. It really emphasized teamwork, community, and sacrifice. They were able to hit that sad note very fast to reel us right in, and created some very interesting, dynamic perspectives for each of these characters that we're going to get to know. Now, we didn't get any clues on any innovations addition that might be coming to the gameplay, but we got some shots that really look like it's emulating what we can expect in the game. Like, it was a really good move that they gave us a cinematic trailer, but then weaved in some actual gameplay shots, even if it's not like the full-on gameplay. We don't have a release date or anything, but it's gonna be an Xbox exclusive, which makes sense. It's always been. I'm definitely excited to see what they're able to do with a third State of Decay game, and I look to keep you informed as I find out more. At number 5, we got Diablo, the Vessel of Hatred, the first Diablo 4 expansion. This cinematic trailer, like, made me nauseous. It's a lot, but probably a really good move to make such a memorable cinematic trailer. Like, it's definitely not my favorite thing in the world to just watch human bodies splitting up into semi-detached masses. But with that being said, they really lure you into a false sense of security throughout the course of this entire trailer. And it's truly some really good storytelling. And this is just a trailer. So we're getting a new class, base game updates, new PvE co-op stuff. Check out this video coming up on the screen for more in-depth information on the expansion if you're interested. But just from the visuals alone, I gotta say, the creative team and the art department are really carrying this one. I mean, in terms of hype, because we all know what Diablo 4 is at this point, right? And I'm not knocking it by any means. It's a great game. I play it all the time. But this really does look like a good expansion. And with a lot of the base changes being carried over, I'm excited to see what's next to come. It's coming to all the things PS5, Xbox, and PC on October 8th. And do me a big favor, if you find yourself enjoying this video, consider hitting that like button for me. It helps me out a lot. Thank you so much, guys. Moving on to number 5. Whoa, look out, we got a new Doom, the Dark Ages, coming our way. And I don't know why they made this a prequel of Doom in the medieval setting, but it's Doom, so we don't ask why. It don't matter why. And all the really cool guns and the new school gadgets are here, and it looks like a fantastic evolution of that same formula. I mean, whoever's doing these modern Doom games, you really got it honed in. I mean, this is some finely tuned changes that need to be had to keep up with today's gamers and what we would expect, yet keep it as close as possible to the source material. This first-person shooter's coming with a bunch of new weapons from the looks of it. I'm sure we're gonna find some familiar ones in there too. You'll probably find some things totally out in left field, but that's all part of the fun, am I right? I mean, the dude's rocking a shield, just taking blasts and throwing it around like he's Captain America. But I don't know. Everything looks imposing, even more so than usual. But all I know is the more Doom, the better. How can you hate it? They make great levels, great gameplay, and I'm looking forward to seeing this coming to Xbox, PlayStation 5, and PC next year. Number 4. We got a Perfect Dark gameplay reveal. So I just gotta say this Perfect Dark trailer is so freaking cool. It gives me a mix of like Watch Dogs, being able to use cyber hacks and thermovision with a stealthy gameplay look of Dishonored. And I absolutely love optional stealthy type of games. And I don't feel like we get too many quality ones that meet the mark. But this is kind of what I always wanted. And it falls into that perfect mix of stealth while you're listening in on conversations with audio scans, while climbing on rooftops and using a little parkour to grapple onto the pipes. Then we have the hand-to-hand combat and gunplay. I don't even care what this game is about, just send it my way, please. The company behind this, The Initiative, has people working on it that previously worked on BioWare, Naughty Dog, Respawn, Santa Monica Studios, Blizzard, Insomniac, Rockstar. It's seemingly a massive studio, and they are accomplishing some very cool looking things here. I seriously cannot wait to play this. Keep it on your radar. At number 3, we got Dragon Age, the Veilguard. Finally, we actually got some footage of the game engine, and they show this sort of team assembly scene as we get the introduction to a few different characters. They do a really good job of making you feel like this is a new and improved Dragon Age. And that's good, because honestly, that's exactly what BioWare really needed right now. But as usual, we see some nice bow gameplay, a bit of magic, in a very vibrant world design. They do a good job of making it look really big and epic. We don't have an exact date as of yet, but it's going to be coming out in the fall of this year. So I'll let you know more as I know it. At number 2, we got Life is Strange, Double Exposure. And the thing that caught my eye about this one is the story, and that's not something I usually jump on. But listen to this. This is about a murder that happens in her reality. She finds out she can traverse between multiple realities. And in these multiple realities, this murder hasn't happened yet. The person that was murdered was her best friend. So obviously, she'd like to save that friend. And in order to do that, she's gonna need to solve the murder in one of the other realities so she could prevent it in the other. I have no idea how this is all gonna line up and play out, but Tell me that's not an awesome plot. Also, they clearly expanded on what a Life is Strange game is. It's still an adventure game at its core, but it looks like there's a lot more going on here. And I'm good with that, and I'm very happy to say we do have a release date coming out on Xbox and PC on October 29th. And finally, number 1 is CLA Expedition 33. This is another interesting story that really caught my attention. Apparently, there's a paintress that wakes up every year, paints a number, and it kills off a bunch of people. And you guessed it, you're on the expedition to try and stop this from happening. This would be the 33rd time she is going to wake up and do this. This game has some beautiful outer world settings. It's definitely going to be on rails as you progress through the story, but the size of these maps and areas are huge, so it's definitely going to feel more like an open world game. We get to see a few cool bosses, and the gameplay isn't really something I'd see myself playing, but having the story in mind, I just might have to give this a try. But it's a cool game. I like the aesthetic, the gameplay looks good, or at least what they're representing the gameplay to look like, probably an action RPG. This is landing next year, and I'll give you more information when I have it. On a quick side note, Microsoft finally went ahead and announced a discless Xbox Series X. It's going to be the white edition of the Xbox Series X. It will not have an optical storage drive, but it will have a terabyte of internal storage, and it's going to be sitting at a price point at $449.99. There's also a new addition to the Xbox with an optical drive. And of course, this one's going to be launching at $599.99, so $600. And the main feature from this one, aside from its galaxy black color, is it's going to be apparently launching with twice the amount of storage of any of the other models. Xbox needs to get back into the swing of things, and with these bunch of banger games we received in this year's showcase, I think we're moving in the right direction. But what are your thoughts? You team Xbox or PlayStation? What game are you most excited for on the list, off the list? Leave it in the comments below. Hit that like button, subscribe, ring the notification bell, all that jazz. I'll see you guys in the next one. Toodles!